I'm Harris. I'm a 20-year-old medical student at Barts in London, and I'm a co-founder of hashtag ItsOurFuture. So I set up a campaign called hashtag ItsOurFuture, and it's got a website and a Facebook page and a Twitter page. And I set it up because I really wanted to get more young people voting, and registering to vote is a key part of trying to get young people to vote. And I kept hearing in the news that it was a big problem that young people aren't registered to vote, aren't voting, and because of that they're not getting their views across. And I thought there has to be something we can do about that. So we set up the campaign, and that's where we are now. My friends have been really great. Like the first initial push was everyone sharing the page, sharing the video that we made, and that got a great response. Loads of people have seen it now, and people who I don't know now are starting to share it. So friends of friends are starting to share it, and it's really starting to get off the ground, and that's really exciting. It's really amazing that actors are getting involved. It's something that I could have never predicated. Like when I set up the site, my main aim was to just get people looking at it, at least my friends, at least people that I knew, and people that they knew. But the fact that it's sort of having a life of its own now, it's sort of growing organically by itself, is phenomenal. And I mean, the more people we reach, the better. I'm speechless. I could never think that it would go that far. My main ambition for the whole project overall is that in the future we start to see young people really getting involved in politics. We have young leaders debating policies and ideas on a bigger scale. We start seeing the policymakers and the politicians really start to talk to young people and bring out policies that matter to them, because right now I feel like they're hugely underrepresented compared to other parts of the other demographics. So I really want to see that push that young people are a part of this country and we can really shape our own future. The main thing I really want to see is that people feel represented, that young people don't say, oh, I didn't vote because there was no one I liked. It's that people go out and they really educate themselves about what everyone's saying, and they go out and say, I had a choice, I made my choice, I'm part of my own future. And I think that's the ultimate game. For the future, the whole point of the campaign was to try and get more young people engaged, and I think we can do that continuously. It doesn't need to be just for this election. After we have our deadline of getting more people to register, maybe the next step is to try and get people voting, because that's still a big step. Trying to get people discussing politics with their friends and their family, and really shaping the ideas that they want. And I think that's something that doesn't just have a deadline at any time. That's all about politics becoming sort of trendy and cool and people talking about it on a day-to-day basis. I think one of the biggest things that stops young people from voting is that they don't actually realise when the deadline is to vote, or that there was a deadline to vote, or how to vote. So that's one of the big things we tackled, was trying to get people to know that there is a deadline to register to vote. It's coming up soon. And another thing is it's actually quite difficult. So, for example, our generation was one of the first generations to not have a national insurance card, and instead we got given a letter, which is really easy to lose compared to a card. So I think that's another thing. People need to know how they can access the information they need to register to vote. I think a big part of our generation being disenfranchised from voting is that most politicians don't speak to young people now. A lot of politicians don't really cater to what a young person wants from politics. The issues that matter to them are constantly rejected and downtrodden. So, I mean, tuition fees, for example, that was a huge promise. A lot of people voted on the basis of that, and that promise got completely turned away, and that really does impact on people's beliefs of what they can do and how much control they have over their own lives. So I think it's the whole point that it's not just about making policies for young people. They actually want to see action on the things that matter to them. And I think that's a huge part of why so many people aren't interested in politics and why they're disenfranchised. So if you want to get involved, you can find us at www.itsourvote.weebly.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. You can use the hashtag ItsOurFuture, and you can record your own message and share everything we do to your friends to make sure that we spread the message. Hashtag ItsOurFuture.